Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to part 4 in our series of cards we really want to see reprinted in Modern Masters 2017. So if you missed the other installments, there is a playlist on the channel, but we've already talked about white, blue, and black. Today we're going to talk about the red cards. Now, the criteria for these cards are very similar to the other videos. We looked at two things. How much play they're seeing in Modern, especially if they're seeing play in multiple decks. That is going to go a long way. Even if the card isn't maybe super expensive, or in some cases in red, you're going to notice some of these could be very, very cheap. But at the same time, they are cards that people are looking for to play with. So you have to have a limited game anyway. Why not give us some limited cards that are also playable in Modern Masters? Secondly, we're going to look at cards that just have high price tags. In one or two cases, these are going to be cards that maybe don't see a lot of Modern play, or in at least one case probably doesn't see any Modern play. But if they're looking for an interesting limited card to give us for the limited game, that's where these cards kind of fall into place. And also, we have seen in the past for Modern Master sets that they are creating a limited environment. So that means not every card in the set is going to be a huge Modern staple. And they have taken that opportunity to give us some great casual cards, some great Commander and Cube cards. So I have no doubt we'll see that again in this Modern Masters. Quickly before we get started though, if you check out the description below, you'll see a link to our Amazon affiliate store. Any purchases you make through those links, a small percentage will come back to help support the channel. You'll find the singles we're talking about here today, as well as a lot of sealed product and various things. Another way to help support us is through Patreon. You'll find the link down there as well. And we've just updated our page with new goals and new rewards, and one of which is this Angel token, full art Angel classic art token, and it came out amazing. So check it out if you get a chance on our Patreon page for the details on how to get it. All right, let's get into the cards. And much like the other videos, 3 sections we'll have here. Basically, the first one, we're going to look at a few key decks and some key cards from those decks. Then we're going to look at least one, what I call a fringe card, which is basically a card that, okay, honestly doesn't see Modern play, but I wouldn't be sad to see it reprinted. And finally, we'll look at those staples that are seeing a lot of play. All right, we're going to start off with Affinity. There's one card that's in Affinity decks that's red that I wanted to showcase for just a moment. It's not a real expensive card. It's Galvanic Blast. 80 cents. It was a common in Scars of Mirrodin. Never reprinted, but at the same time, yeah, it's pretty easy to get at this point. It's not hard to pick up copies of this or anything like that. But again, if you're going to make a interesting limited environment, maybe there could be a artifact sub-theme there. I wouldn't be sad to see this be part of that. All in red. This is always an interesting deck to me. It's not a top tier deck by any means. If you're familiar with it, you kind of know how it plays. But for those of you who aren't, it's not a burn deck, but it does have some burn elements. It's almost like a control deck that's trying to beat you down with a few small creatures. It's actually pretty interesting, but there's one card I wanted to feature from it, and that was Magus of the Moon. At $24.87, it was from Future Sight as a rare. And what's interesting about this card, I think a lot of people think of it as the budget Blood Moon. Like, if I can't afford to go out and buy 4 Blood Moons, I could maybe afford to get Magus, but Magus is still pretty expensive at this point. It's also a great casual card. But the all-in-red deck actually runs Blood Moons as well as these because they want the 2/2 creatures to be able to attack as well, which is actually pretty interesting. So, yeah, I'd be very happy to see this reprinted. Burn. Alright, so I mentioned this a moment ago. Burn is a major, major deck out there, and there's actually 4 cards I wanted to talk about quickly. The first one being the biggest one, Goblin Guide. Come on now. Where is Goblin Guide? And maybe after Damnation, this is the card that leaves players scratching their head the most. Like, where is this card? And the thing is, burn decks are actually pretty affordable, even in Modern, except for this card. Goblin Guide just is the card that kind of holds you back. Maybe Blood Moons if you want to run those in your sideboard or something. But for the most part, this is the big obstacle right here. It was from the original Zendikar. I think it's time. Lava Spike. This one was reprinted in Modern Masters, but it was a common, now going for $3.49. So at this point, even though it has seen a reprint a few years back, pretty expensive for a common. I would be very happy to see it show up again. Rift Bolt, pretty much the same story. It did get a reprint in Modern Masters, the first one, not the second one. $2.29 again for a common. And the third one, maybe not as bad. Searing Blaze, 99 cents. This is another common from World Wake. Next we have Kiki Combo. So once Splinter Twin got banned, there were some players that had bought into that deck that still were trying to make it work in Modern, and even though it isn't a tier 1 deck and you don't see it all the time, it does show up from time to time. It's basically Splinter Twin without Splinter Twin. It tries to do the combo with Kiki Jiki, and that's the card I wanted to feature. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, $11.39. This was reprinted as a mythic in both of the Modern Masters sets, so this has gotten some reprints. The thing with this card, though, is, yes, it doesn't see the same amount of play in Modern than it did before Splinter Twin was banned. It's far, far less at this point. However, WotC has had some trouble coming up with interesting red mythics to give us in these Modern Master sets. So, if you have to make a decision between Comet Storm and Kiki Jiki, I'd rather see Kiki Jiki. So maybe this isn't a card that feels like it desperately needs a reprint or anything like that, but I wouldn't be sad to see it in the set in lieu of cards like Comet Storm. Scred Red. This is a deck that had a real surge in popularity about a month or two ago. In particular, one card I wanted to talk about from it, and that's Koth of the Hammer, $12.66. Now, Koth did see a reprint in a dual deck, but it's been a little while now. Other than that, just from Scars of Meriden. And again, in WotC, if you're listening, if you want to give us a red mythic and you're thinking about Comet Storm, I got another suggestion for you, and it's right here. This would be a great inclusion. Alright, we have one Fringe card to mention today, and it's really, honestly, not a card you're going to see in Modern, but it has a decent price tag on it, and it's an interesting casual card. It could be a card that might be fun in Limited, and I could see it maybe getting a bump down to Rare from Mythic. And that's Urabraska the Hidden. Right now it's valued at $9.19. It's never seen a reprint. And I don't know, the card to me feels like it easily could be a rare in a powerful limited format like Modern Masters and not cause any problems. I mean, the abilities are good on the card, but costs 5 for a 4/4. I think that alone, along with the legendary piece of it, is enough of a drawback to feel like, yeah, I think it would be just fine even within draft as a rare. If you were lucky enough to pick up 2 of these, I don't think it would be super overwhelming. Alright, let's talk about the staples. These are cards that see play in multiple decks. And again, some of these don't have high price tags, but they are seeing extensive play. And if you have to give us some commons in the set, why not give us some commons that we can use after we play our limited game? First one, Ancient Grudge. Perfect example. It's only 33 cents. Is it hard to get these? No, it's not hard to get these. This was from Time Spiral. It got reprinted in Innistrad. It's a common. It's not super expensive. But you know what? If you have an artifact sub-theme in your set, this is a great counter to that. Blood Moon. Alright, so this is a huge one. Blood Moon, $44.73. This is the Modern Masters version of it. It did get a reprint there, but not in Modern Masters 2015, interestingly enough. Definitely time for another reprint. This is seeing extensive play. Lightning Bolt. Okay, not a super expensive card, but I think it's always interesting when you can get one of the original Magic cards in a set like this. This was a uncommon in Modern Masters 2015, but still will run you about $3.33. So picking up Lightning Bolts for about $3-4 has pretty much been par for the course for a while now. It'd be nice to see this reprinted again. I wouldn't be horribly sad to see this as a common, but I feel like that might speed up their limited format a little too much. Uncommon is probably where it would stay. Simian Spirit Guide at $6 from Planar Chaos has never seen a reprint. This card feels like it's just getting more and more play as time goes on, and it was a common. We're looking at a $6 common at this point, and you know what? If this doesn't see a reprint here and another year or two goes by, I could see this easily becoming a $10, $15 common over time, and it would be nice to kind of intercept that before it happens. Through the Breach, another one of the huge cards of Modern at this point. It sees play in 2 decks, but they're 2 major decks, and they kind of do the same sort of thing, but $42.13 has never seen a reprint. Feels like this one's long overdue. I really hope we see this show up in Modern Masters. This one, Damnation, Goblin Guide, these are some of those cards that just feel like they've been hanging out there for a really long time. Let's get them in the set. Let's get some reprints out there for players. So, having said that, those are the red cards. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Are there any cards that we didn't talk about today that you would love to see reprinted? And it is a little bit harder in red. I mean, red has been a more economical color, which is great for players, and actually kind of wish all the colors were like this. But I'm sure there's some cards that we didn't talk about today that you'd like to see in the set. So let me know down below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.